Right, just wanted to double check, mate. Can you hear us? Is this working? Nope. Okay. Let me switch up, see whether I need to add in my source. Guys, just wanted to double check. Can anyone hear me? I can hear you. Perfect. All right, let's see if we can get some background music now. I see you again. Now there's sound. All right, okay, no worries. I just want to make sure that we are using the right settings. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think I'm doing this all right, guys. I think I've loud and clear. Is the audio okay or is it crappy? Hopefully it's not too rubbish. We should be going through. Yeah, all good, mate. Okay, right. We can get going then. I've just been sorting out. Okay. Right. We can get going with today's stream. I have updated our live stream. Let me. Okay, so I've been working this morning. We've got some fancy stuff. So now when we are live, we can do stuff like this. We're going to zoom into those hourly stats so you guys can see it better. We're going to zoom into the algo so you can see that better. Focus a little bit more on the chart when we want to zoom in. And then obviously we'll just have our normal view. So just trying to make it a little bit easier for everyone to see some of the statistics when we're working through it. Hopefully that'll make the stream a little bit better for you guys as well. And then other than that, we'll get going with today and what we think. So, right. So obviously New York, we are opening in a minute. I need a bell. Let's get that background music running as well. So I don't just dance along on my own. Just let me know if the desktop audio is too loud. That's a little bit aggressive. Wicked, okay. Let's see what we get now. We're open at 9:30. It's a little slow. Let's see if we start kicking in. Okay, so New York's open. We can have a look at a couple of detail on this. Okay, so obviously yesterday we pushed up, had a nice strong trend. We've transitioned bearish. However, higher time frame is still bullish, right? We're in a sequence 7. So the first thing we'll expect to do is transition into a corrective phase before then potentially reverting back to the existing trend. We'll be watching out for that. Our dynamic TP is under the 0 line as well, which is confirming with our bearish trend that until we see all of this change, our bias is bearish. Okay. So obviously we've had our first 20 minutes and obviously we've taken the low. Obviously New York open can be very manipulative, so we don't focus too strongly on it has to work out like this. But right now we can say obviously we've taken this low. Potentially we expect this to be our high for this hour. How's everyone doing today? You all okay? Let's talk about the giveaway. Just check. In caps. Just check the music isn't too much for you guys, or even if you can actually hear the music. We've got a giveaway on at the moment, so right now we are, it's fine, okay. Right now we're giving away three-month licenses, so if you want to do that, head over to our Twitter account, like and share, all good, perfect. It has been one busy day learning how to use a lot of this stuff, but I think we're getting there. Okay, let's see if we can add this banner to the stream now, guys, just so that you can see. Alright, how you doing? So have you passed your challenge now, Mohammed? Alright. Right, guys. adjust that slightly. It's getting on my nerves. You're a pain. That'll do. Okay, so we break down. Remember, statistically, when we took this low, let's look at the hourly stats. Right. We take the low. Here. Okay, so this is our first two segments. We take the low in the third segment, is it? Let's have a look. 9:30, yeah, just into that third segment. That means that our hourly stats here, right? So we're looking at bearish, and we are then adding up these statistics to say, well, we're expecting, we take these, we take those lows, then we're expecting these to be our highs. So 55%, 65%, 70%, 80% probability. That's our current high for this hour. Right? We'll have a look at some of the other pairs now as well. Obviously, New York does like to have a little swing around, so I'm still waiting. Sometimes we'll get a bit of a Judas swing, but we are saying that 80%. This is hourly high. We're obviously predicting as well on the algo 65% probability that we are in a bearish move. So our expectation is that we're going to close bearish. Let's have a look at gold. Had that big run from yesterday. We expected, with obviously the payday transition, that we would get that big run, and off it went. And we're now selling off as well. Obviously we transition bearish here, so we're expecting down movement across the zero line. Also an indication that we expect that potential continuation. With gold, ES, very similar to where we were dribbling down before we broke up, so we'll see how that goes. That's interesting. Segments are your 10-minute. So this is looking at an hour. So I will zoom into. Hang on. So this is looking at an hour. So that's the first 10 minutes, 20, 30, 40, 50, and that's our last 10 minutes. Take us to an hour. And it's showing you that if we are going to be bearish or bullish, where we expect the low to be, where we expect the high to be on a bearish candle. And obviously we want to, if we're going to go up, we want to buy low and sell high. So here's our high probability of where we want to be selling. Right. So it gives us a statistical edge. Now, obviously I have already made an update on this. As you can see, this morning's video, we were able to predict a 5-hour candle. Do the same thing as what we do on the hourly and break it into segments and say, what's the probability of this 5-hour candle being bearish? And that's where I had a good one-to-ones today already. So my trade was up here. We expected this to be our high on the 5-hour candle. Once we broke this low here, that gave me a statistical edge that this was our high and that this low would go. Set a limit order at the 50%, stop above, targeting the lows. That was the last quarter. There's no face cam. It's back. Right, there you go. Which was a great trade. So we continue to push down. We are on the last minute of our segment. So right now we're in 39 minute, right? So that will be the last segment 4. So we're bearish. So there's a 16% probability that we get our low for the bearish candle here. But as you can see, we still have some decent chunks of data. 36%, 17%. Quick math. 53%, is it? 54? That we're still going to get the low past this point. Obviously, we've just put a low again in. So we've put another low in. No worries. Thank you for coming. Wait for all my confluences to add up, right? So depends on how you trade. Obviously, I'm looking to take my trades kind of around this sort of time of the hour, because obviously this is where my risk is at the lowest and my opportunities at the highest. So right now, for this hour, obviously we can continue to pump down. That's absolutely fine. But I am remaining with the hourly. Higher time frame for me is a guide, but the lower time frame has to align before the higher time frame plays out. So it's a good if both align, but if they are different, I still fall down to the lower time frame to give me that confirmation that if we're going to go bullish, I'm going to go bullish. Do not trade any higher time frame blindly. The lower time frame needs to confirm what I'm seeing on the higher time frame. We had a nice trade yesterday on the live stream. Let's see if we can get one today. So let's look at our market structure. Good morning. CL, we haven't had a look at. Obviously CL coming up now. Maybe time to fill that gap. No, I need to leave them on. Okay, Euro USD. We've gone bearish as well, starting to transition bearish. Obviously, we have then confirmed bullish hour. And we're coming up towards that 0 line. So right now, with Euro USD, we ain't looking for a sell, even though we are on a sequence 9 corrective bearish, which gives us a higher probability of this hour being bullish. So let's explain that. So this is telling us down, so that's the current candle prediction and the higher time frame. So we are predicting a bearish candle, and the probability of the bearish candle, actually sorry, this is on the daily, my apologies. There we go. We are bullish. So we're in a sequence 1. We have a 96% probability of closing bullish, and our higher time frame is bullish. Matching with our buy signal. We are now on the hourly. And let me make sure I am using the same feed. I'm on Oanda there. Let's change that to Oanda. Make sure everything aligns. Same prediction. So yeah, you can see obviously we go bearish. We're now transitioning back to bullish. We obviously want to see that confirmed at the end of the hour and start coming up over the 0. I am aiming to be live as much as possible. I have obviously other commitments, but my goal is obviously long term to be able to do this every day. Come on, talk through statistics, talk through what we're seeing through different pairs. You know, Bitcoin, we still transition and go into more of that bearish phase on Bitcoin, right? After our nice pump up. Talk through what's going on. YM, we open with a gap. Obviously YM, we have some really strong statistics. YM, you can see that we have a 66% probability on our bullish within the first 10 minutes. Now obviously you might say, okay, let's have a look at that with some more data. Let's go up to the 5 minute. You can see that the 63% of a 463 candle still remains strong. So when we're bullish, we have a very, very high probability of putting in our low in the first 10 minutes. But it does mean that once we've done our 20-minute window, we already have a statistical edge of over 75%. But YM is currently sitting under. And we're corrective bearish at 50%. So we don't have anything currently sitting with us on that at the moment. So nothing really to write home for. We don't have any data when it's NA. We've never had 9 corrections in a row on YM. So there's no data. That's why it's NA. Obviously you can see on Euro, 783 times we've collected the data on here. So let's go back to NQ. So let's look at our market structure. Here we go. So, first job, we mark our highs. Now remember, we're doing market structure on candle market structure rather than traditional market structure, and I'll explain that. Okay. So when we do market structure, we don't normally take in consideration candles. We just look at price and we mark up our structure, right? So I'll try and do a sort of a vague one. And that would be our market structure that some people would do. Okay. But what we're looking at is this is an hourly candle. So we're monitoring the highs and lows of the candle. Because when we're bullish, we're expecting what? We're expecting to be taking the highs of the candles. And when we're bearish, we're expecting to be taking lows. So it's a really easy way, an unbiased way of getting our market structure. Completely mechanical. There's our low. So there's no second guessing. Is that the high? Is that the low? It's just the high and low of the hour. So you can see obviously we start breaking lows. So obviously when we break a low here, we go into that bearish structure. There's our high for the hour. There's our high. So we break the high there and go bullish. And then immediately in the same hour break the low, which is a great sign of a move. Now often you'll get that manipulation into then your real move, if you like. Take highs and drop down. We continue to take lows. Obviously New York has taken low, and right now for our hour is our high. Yo, Herman! How's it going? He's a very talented trader. So obviously we use combination of everything together, right? It's the combination. It's the combination of probability that gives us the highest probability, right? So when we stack our confluences, but we stack our confluences in probability, we are... Good morning, Alexander. Hi, nice to see you again. We're sitting in a much prettier position. So let's have a little look at some of our data, right? Okay, so let's try and look at some of the higher time frame. So let's plan out. Let's go through some of the hours on the algo. So I'm just going to zoom in on the algo. Okay, so this is the hour, and let's look at the next 2 hours. Oh, sorry, the next 2. Okay, so the next 2 hours. So the 2 hours currently in a sequence 1 bearish, right? Which is coming to an end very shortly. So we'll go into a sequence 2. Let's look at our 3 hour. Our 3 hours only just started. So our 3 hour has also gone into a sequence 1, but we've only just started our 3 hour. So let's have a look at our 3 hour statistics. Okay. Do 1, 2, 3. There's roughly our segments. Okay. So our 3 hour candle's starting here, yeah? Let's update our stats to be a 3 hour candle, which they are. Oh, we're not set super strong on our 3 hour. Don't like that. Let's have a little look what we've got anyway. Let's look at our 3 hour. Okay, so statistically, let's move up time frames. Let's put some more data in. 300 candles should do. Okay, so our 3 hour candle, if we are bearish, we have a 50% probability in our first segment and a 24% probability. So those two segments together give us a good 74% probability of capturing the high for the hour. So let's have a look. It will be 30 minutes, won't it? Let's have a look. Let me do my math from my calculator. I've just dragged a tool out for that instead of working at my head. 3 times 60 divided by 6. Yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah. So we've got our 30-minute window, right? So we've got... this is a 5-minute candle. I need to go back on. So this is a 5-minute candle, right? 5-minute candle. So we've got 1 minute 46 left. We've put a low in this segment, so we are in segment 2. So we have our high at the beginning. So statistically, with us taking that low when we took it here, that gave us probability that straight away 50%. Not that much of a great value, but what we really want to see now is if we can take this low, and as time goes on, that statistical edge continues. So if we don't put in a high during this hour, we can then expect, okay, right now 74% of all data has happened, and we have our high in the first segment. So we have a good indication that yes, we potentially will go bearish. Okay. So 3 hour is giving us an initial indication that potentially we're going to be bearish the next 3 hours. Let's look where our low could be. Okay, 37%. If we're going to be bearish, we have a 37% probability our low is in the last segment, 17 in the last 2. So combining those statistics together, we have a 54% probability of getting our low in this segment. Obviously, in the last 3 segments, that goes up significantly, up into the 70%. So we can expect halfway point that our low isn't in yet, right? So if we're going to be bearish, we can expect this by this point. We have a high probability of that low going. Now, obviously, if we come up and take this high, then that gives us a statistical edge of this 3 hour being bullish. Okay? So let's mark that up. So let's say we've got our 3 hour high. Right now, wait for that segment to be over before we put it in. On our statistical edge, it's not high enough yet. We think this is our 3 hour high at the moment. Now obviously these are 30-minute segments. So we can go down to our 30-minute on the algo. We're in a sequence 5 of a bearish trend in our 30 minutes. So we can see what we expect to happen. We'll go back to an hour. And let's play our hourly stats. Okay. So potentially, we're going to wait and see what happens around these highs and lows. Might give us some indication for the rest of the day. This is our hourly high, remember. 9:43, we had our low. Let me just hide that. Put our hourly back on. So, you know, we had our low this hour in the last 5 segment, which is a 20% probability. So not huge that this will go, and obviously we are turning blue as well. Potentially expect us not to be taking that low. We are in our last segment. Obviously we've only got a few minutes left, so very unlikely we're taking that low. Let's check our lower time frames. So 30 minutes is nice and bearish. Sorry, 30 second is nice and bearish. 15 second is coming up. Still below the 0 line. I'm going to make that 0 line a little bit cleaner for you. Okay. Right now, we're too close to the end of the hour. We want to see that new hour, but we're going on the 3 hour, which we've been looking at. Then as we finish this half an hour, we are sitting at a, is it still 3 hour? Still on the 3 hour. So we finish our second segment on the 3 hour, right? Right here. And when that's done, we have, if we're going to go bearish, we have a high probability, basically 70% probability that this is our high for the 3 hour. Now ideally we'd like to see that low go again, just double confirmation of the bearish hour, the bearish 3 hour. But obviously right now everything is aligning bearish. We haven't got anything telling us that we're going to go bullish yet. Our bias is bearish. This was our high probability low this hour, right? So when we started on the New York Open, we took this low, and obviously we played out at that point. Statistically, that was our high, and statistically, we're going to expect our low during this period here. How often have we seen New York come down and flip like we did yesterday? Can happen. We're on a new hour. Okay, we're on a sequence 8, so we've been bearish for quite a while. It's obviously only been 94 sequences in this, considering we start off much higher, up at 1,000 at sequence 1. So we have quite a strong trend to get to here. We can see that though. Current prediction though, as the hour starts, is we are bearish. Trend AI is very bearish. We have a very strong trend. So we are expecting continued down. It's going to take a lot to flip that volume. Does it mean it can't? No, but you know, we're not jumping in just yet thinking it's going to go the other way. So what we want to do now is we want to see this 10-minute play out. We might be able to look for some trade, maybe a one-to-one. Here's our low, our hourly structure. Here's our high. Where am I going? Just to here. This is the end of our 3 hour. How's everyone doing today? Hope we got some competition winners. If you haven't already, guys, I'd appreciate a like on the video. Share it if you can. The more we can get the word out, the better. We can help traders trade. 2 for 2. Pew, 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 pew. Just like that, Alexander, eh? Just 2 for 2. It's a good call, Mohammed. So, 9 AM candle. Statistically, there is a 73% probability that we take the 9 AM open. And we often do it in the second half an hour at this point now. So we'll see. Obviously, we can see that we've changed off the 9:39 candle. Oh, nice. They're the trades you want, right? No messing around, just straight to target. Okay, we're 3 minutes in. We can look at our, if we're bearish and bullish, what do we think our pullback table says? All right. If we're going to go bearish, normally do 11 points on average. We're already past 11 points. We're at 22. Maybe bullish hour. I wait for everything to be aligned. What you're looking at is probability of confluences, right? So right now, the algo is saying there's a 76% probability of being bearish. What I want then is the hourly statistics to match the algo so that I've got hourly probability, algo probability, double whammy. I want to see my dynamic TP telling me that we are also in line with that in terms of we're bearish. I want to see market structure. So we're taking lows, right? I look for all of those confluences to align, and then using the fact that I've obviously got a statistical edge, and then look to take the trade. What you don't do is trade blindly off of this, right? That's why these other ones exist, so that you have a statistical edge. Let's have a look at our liquidity levels on It's Impossible. This is the free, obviously a free indicator and a free Discord that anyone can join. There's a few things in there. There's a lot of free indicators, including a strategy where you can build your own mechanical system and connect it up, and it will trade for you. So this is going to show us our liquidity levels. We're going to go on the 5 minute. So we took all of the liquidity above yesterday. Obviously we can see if we're going to go much bearish. Here's our next, well obviously we've got the low currently, but we're way down here. And then we have our liquidity above. Right. So you can see, obviously yesterday we came up through the liquidity, taking the highs, still continued on, then we started taking lows, and you can see then we maintained the highs. They weren't taken because we were targeting lows. All right. We are 6 minutes in. Yes, we do need more confluences. We want to see, obviously, as high probability as possible. Like, for example, we're in a bullish trend, in a current bearish trend. So we're not aligned. Our payday setups is when we see everything aligned. Yesterday here, we started off into a bullish trend. A higher time frame flipped, giving us a payday setup, and obviously we ran off. Gold was a payday setup yesterday, straight away. You can see here we transitioned bullish. The higher time frame was bullish. The current trend was bullish. See you later. Off it went. We transitioned bearish, and we're waiting. We get a nice sell signal here. Matching market structure. Right, we're not selling here. We're waiting for everything to align. We break the lows, market structure's bearish. We get a sell signal, meaning our hourly statistic data is right, and bang, off we go. You can trade this any way you want. It is a confluence for you guys. Do you mind showing your impossible settings in the Max Algo Discord? Which indicator? The liquidity? Yeah, it's just default. So when you go into settings, I will share it in. It is just default. I just change the time frame to 5 minutes when I'm on the hourly. That's it, really. So obviously we can look at liquidity. If I was going to be trading some liquidity grabs, I'll be bringing it down to look at my 5 minute and my 1 minute. Right. So we can see these highs here. So I was expecting us to drop. We'd want to see a grab, a wick of these highs. There we go. Let's see if we close above. Obviously, if we were then to flip and take this low, it's a good indication that liquidity grab, and potentially we could be targeting lower down. Now, obviously, if we come down and take this low, that gives us real good confirmation this is a bearish hour. Right now, we're on the 9th minute. If we take that high, right? So statistically now, if we take this high, that means this is a low. Okay? I'm going to zoom into the hourly settings. So if we take that high, we then have a 57.94% probability already that this hour has a chance of being bullish. Okay? So that's statistically not a huge advantage, but an initial. We haven't yet taken it. Remember, this is the 9 o'clock open. Like I said, there's high probability we take that, especially during this period. So you can see, obviously, we're still failing to close above that level. We want to see a nice strong push down, take these lows out. So obviously, potentially that was a cheap trade. I'm not looking to do that right now. We are 12 minutes in, right? We did not take the high. Very close, but we did not. So if we take that, then potentially, obviously, liquidity in a flip. We might come down, just come straight down here and take that. But we will see first. Right now, obviously, we are blue. All this nice and bearish. See? Confidence. Confidence in that short. Confidence in that short. Right? Confidence. Right now. We wait. Let's have a look at our other pairs. Alright, gold takes the high in this hour. So for gold, we take the high, right? We have a 55. Where are we? 13 minutes in. So 55% probability that we currently have our low. As we get into the segment 2, as we get past 20 past, that gives us a much higher probability that our low is already in for gold. Good morning. So potentially a bullish hour for gold. Where's ES gone? So ES has flipped bullish on our market structure. We've taken the highs. We did take the high on ES. Right? So ES is statistically bullish. We can see the trend starting to weaken out. We're coming up to that 0 line. Potentially crossing over. So we'll see how Nasdaq reacts. When we were coming down like that, that was much cleaner with ES. That potentially would flip as NQ's given a much harder push down. CL, same thing. Now CL's got a higher probability, remember, so CL currently sits with a 61% probability that we have a bullish hour. It's going a little bit higher. We are 15 minutes in. You could take half of that and say 65%. Good thing about CL as well is we have stayed just above that zero line. So potentially we can carry on. We have a strong bullish trend and a higher time frame, and we are bullish. Crude light's looking good. Maybe we'll keep an eye on that. It is Wednesday, so obviously, yeah, we'll see that news. I'm going to trade crude during London. Thank you. Still haven't taken this level. Still haven't taken this high. Obviously, our weekly outcome is bullish on NQ. So at some point, I would expect the current high to go. It's like everything, mate. You know, it's just about time. It doesn't take too long. Within a couple of weeks, you know, within a week of kind of using it and using the stats and getting used to it, it just becomes natural. Obviously, you can, with the update that'll be coming out soon, you can adjust the times to match whatever time, however you want to trade. You want to trade high, Rico? You want to trade a 5-minute candle? You want to use the 2 hour, the 3 hour, the 4 hour? Not a problem. Sorry guys, getting a thing saying that potentially there's an issue. Am I still here? YouTube saying that there's an issue. All good? Okay. Just a glitch. What are we going to do? Obviously as time goes on, we've got one more minute after this for our 2-minute segments, which is then giving us statistically even more of a bullish hour. Perfect, thank you, Alexander. Let's see. Let's have a little look at YM. Look at YM. Obviously, this is on the 5-minute. Let's go to the 1-minute. Remember, when we took that high here, that gave us a very, very high statistical edge. It was going to go bullish. You can see trend AI is bullish down here. We take the highs and off we go. Very nice. Keep an eye on YM as well. So we got ES going up, YM going up. Will Nasdaq follow? I'm going to build a hyper Skype. I'm going to build a hyper scalping model, so we can break it down into the minutes. So these statistics, we can load up a 15-minute candle, but obviously you need premium to be able to go down into the settings, to go into the seconds charts. All right, we confirm here statistically right now. We're getting mixed signals, so I'm going to wait. So statistically here, we are, let's have a look. $50, $60, 73%, maybe higher. Okay. Now remember, there's a higher probability we take the open at 9 AM, especially within this point. That would mean our 3-hour high goes. See, the algos right in between. We are at sequence 8, which means we have been in a trend for a long time. At some point, we have to expect that a bearish trend will go into a corrective bearish trend. And we go corrective. And then if we're corrective, we can either continue back into a bearish trend or flip into a bullish trend. So we're starting to see some confluences now for the upside. We're obviously still not over the zero line. We're still very bearish on our trend AI. Let me get rid of these. We obviously are on our way up. I want to see our hourly high go. How are we deciding which is the hourly high and low? We're using the statistical data here, right? So if, for example, statistically, if we're bullish, that means that 57.94% of the time that the low is in the first 10 minutes. 14.9% is in the first 2 segments. So this line is saying, this is the 2 segments, right? So if we put this high in, and then we take that high after that segment, it's showing you that actually, statistically, we're more likely to be bullish. And actually, we combine those stats that give us our 70% probability that this is our low for that hour. Right? Not 100%, but obviously statistically right now, that's in our favor. We look for more confluences to confirm what we think. Obviously, if we wanted to take a one-to-one, potentially just on the hourly stats, we could look to set up our one-to-one. It would be a bullish one-to-one, right? So if statistically our hourly stats play out, then we have a 73% probability of this one-to-one playing out. Right? Doesn't mean it's always going to win, but statistically it's in our favour. Let's look at our 15 seconds. We came over the zero line at the beginning of the hour, giving us a hint that we'd flip bullish earlier on. 30 seconds has now gone over the zero line as well, meaning there's a good chance we're about to take our 1 minute potentially up and over, but we will see. Still a way to go for the 1 minute. Tag the open. There's that gone. So now, statistically, our 3 hour will switch. And it's more likely that our 3 hour is now bearish. So our hourly prediction there was correct. We can get rid of that now. This is our hourly prediction here. And this is our 3 hour prediction. I think it's still there. So let's just have a look at our 3 hour statistics. now that we've got more confirmation. Let's go up to the 5-minute chart. Let's zoom in on our data. Okay, so we've taken... I'm going to have to just lay out that 3 hour so that we can see which segment we're in. Won't be seconds. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 6 finishes at 12. Let's bring that back. Okay, so we've taken the high inside segment 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we took the high here in segment 3, right? So we expect this to be bullish. So our low currently sits in what? Segment 2. So now we're going to add all of that data up. So we have a 56% probability plus an 18% probability, right? So 66. That's going to be a 9. So 75%, 85%. So right now, our 3 hour is 85%. Here's our 3 hour now confirming. We're expecting this to be held for the next 3 hours till that point. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. Back down to our hourly. Change our stats back to hourly. Okay. Remember, we're looking for all confluences to align. So this high that we've just put in this hour, obviously that high is in segment, it's at 10:24, so it's in segment 3, right? Let's go back to our hourly stats. So the high is in segment 3. So there's an 8.8% probability we get our highs here. And if we add our statistics up, we'll just make that 8, 16, 10, 26% probability that's our high. That means that right now, obviously until half past, there's a 75% probability we expect that high to go. The videos, there's one long video which is an hour, and then I've broke them down into smaller segments. So there's like quick setting ones, quick advice. 1 hour 10 exactly, yeah. That's exactly how long it is. It's a good guess. I calculate that being our low. Let's do it again, yeah? Okay. So this is our 2 segments, right? And you can see we have the high. I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna go on the candles. Okay. I need to make sure you can see. Okay, so here on this candle is our last candle of segment 2. And you can see the high is there, right? So when this candle takes that high, it means that right now, what's more likely? It's more likely that the low, I go to statistics. So if we're bullish, where's most likely the low in the first 2 segments? If we're bearish, where's most likely the low? So when we take the high, right? That would mean if we're going to go bearish, that our high is in this segment, which means there's only a 10% probability of a bearish high being there, when statistically it's more likely that this is our low, right? Because this is higher probability than all of this combined. Sorry, there's a 9%. So if we've just currently put that high in here, in the 3rd segment, you can't see, sorry. If we put the high in here in this 3rd segment, if we're going to go bearish, that means there's a 10% probability that this is our high, right? and obviously statistics start dropping as it carries on. So this one is now in segment 4, which is an 8.3% probability of being our high. So still more likely that if we look at bearish lows, bullish lows, 57%, add that together, and now we've got segment 3 data on top of that as well. So we're now 57, 67, 77, 82% probability of that's our hourly low as time goes on, the data increases. Yes, every segment's 10-minute on the hourly, yeah. But we expect our high, right? So we're looking now, we're in segment 4, we've still got all this data, so we still have a higher probability our highs to come this hour, right? So as long as we've got higher probability our highs to come, then our 1-to-1 is still valid, right? So as this time goes on, obviously this probability increases. We've obviously flipped corrective bearish on the algo. So we're going to expect a sequence 2, right? We're going to expect a sequence 2. Let's put our table on. Let's see if we can see a sequence 2. So we are higher time frame bullish in a corrective bearish. So higher time frame bullish, and we are corrective bearish. So our next sequence is a 2. And you can see that means that we're probably going to be trading with about a 73% probability of carrying on bullish. You can't see that either, for fuck's sake. Hang on, I can unlock this. Here we go. So, corrective bearish, sequence 2, right? So we're currently in a sequence 1, next hour would give us a 26% probability of closing bearish. So potentially we've got some probability, some strong probability on our side there for a long, if everything else aligns. Right now I don't have everything on the side that I want, yeah? So trend AI is still very bearish. I have a very strong bearish trend. Not seeing that weaken yet. We'll talk through all my confluences. But basically, I want market structure to align. Number 1, hourly market structure. Right, so we've just broken the high. So now we're potentially bullish. I want my dynamic TP to be above the 0 line. Right? I want to come above that 0 line to confirm bullish. Otherwise, I'm still potentially bearish. Ideally, I want it to be showing us that weakness, going in the right direction as well, or ideally red. I want the algo to be in favor of the direction I want to trade. I want the EMAs potentially aligning as well, which have now gone bullish. So right now, I've got 2 things that aren't confirming bullish, which is my dynamic TP and my trend AI, which is still very bearish. So remember when I traded this one here with this setup, so there you can see my 50% line, right? There's my 50% line of that 5-hour candle. Everything was aligning bearish. We were bearish. We were under. We had a high probability bearish on the 5-hour. Everything aligned. We'd already confirmed by taking this low here. There was a high probability that was our 5-hour high. So that 1-to-1 was perfect for me. I got everything aligning. I took my limit order and obviously targeted the lows. Where do we expect the low? In the last quarter. In the last segment. And that's where we came here. That was our low and smashed it straight away. And obviously then we carried on further. So that was a high probability trade for me. Remember guys, we don't rush for trades. Yeah? We do not rush for trades. We wait for them. You're in gold buys. Let's have a little sneak peek. That's just a sell signal. Let me turn them off just so we can keep it on probability. Well, you had a great buy yesterday. Right now we're still bearish on the algo on gold. We're at sequence 7, it's a little late. So right now we're saying there's a 71% probability we close below that low. We have done one or two things. We've taken the high of the hour, we've taken the low of the hour. Right now we've put that low in there. You can see that within the 15 minutes we've given a statistical edge towards a bearish hour. Right now on gold, and obviously this is just from a statistical point of view, no bias. We were expecting that high to sit for us. And we are already in segment 4. So we have 50... 80. Over 80%. Does not mean it can't be taken. Just following what statistics say. And this is the difference between kind of, obviously, if you can master the markets and read the markets and tape read and have that experience, then that's a real edge for you. And you know, I'm sure if you can manage your emotions, everything, then you'll out trade us and out trade lots of people. Obviously, this is just about keeping us aligned, right? Helping us make better decisions with probability. Doesn't mean they're always the right decision, but if we make it with probability, then we know that over the majority of the time that we are going to be more correct than we are wrong. Let's have a look at the lower time frames. So the 15 seconds, you can see obviously we've come above, we've come below, we've come back above. So we failed to go lower, which is a good sign for the bulls. Right now the 30 second is still below, potentially looking like it might cross again. So bearish on the 30 second, and obviously the 1 minute is still under. Obviously, I think a key sign is this low. If we are expecting a bearish hour, we are expecting that low to go. We see our lows on a bearish hour. We have a lot of data past that point. You know, so it's high probability that low is going. Let's look at NQ. Again, we're expecting this high to go, yeah? Statistically, if we're having a bullish hour, we expect that high to go. We're inside this volume imbalance, or this gap. Yeah. It's not shown on there, but you can see we're tagging it. come back and filled it, potentially. If we can hold that, that might be the thing that it was waiting for before going bullish for you. But obviously right now we hold our statistical bias. Okay, we're inside quarter, the last third. Open with another gap. Bending up. See if NQ can push up and take the highs. We never got a 50% tap anyway. So no one-to-one potential. We wouldn't be taking that one-to-one anyway right now because we don't want to come that far down in the last sort of segment. Really want to be getting tagged in around the middle because then obviously we have all the data in the last part giving us that probability of taking it. So potentially I would not look to take that now. If we were to get tagged in, we'd still have a close to it. There's a 50-50 that we're going to come take the high. Doesn't mean you can't take it in the next hour. Why are we in a bullish hour when we expect to close bearish? Because we've got two different levels of statistics. We've got our algo and we've got our hourly structure, and we look for everything to align. So obviously when we took this high, statistically, we were in a bullish hour, right? We also then took the high of the previous hour, giving us a market structure shift. And we can see the algo is starting to show us that that long trend that we were in, we're now going into a corrective phase. So when we trade with everything aligned, not just one confluence. We trade with all of these things aligning as it was here. We get this sell signal confirming the hourly statistics confirm bearish. We're under the zero line and red, right? We've come under. The algo was bearish. The market structure is bearish. Bang. That is high probability. Everything's aligning. This is not high probability. We see that the trend AI comes in and showing you that we're bullish at the moment and having a strong push back up. We take high, showing hourly structures, showing bullish probability. And we expect at some point each trend has to end. So when we get to a sequence 8, we are expecting that we're going to go back corrective at some point. But again, if you have a sequence 8 and the hourly confirms and everything else is aligned, it's all coming good. So again, this is about giving you guys the highest probability stacking confluences. So your trend AI is based off of statistical data. So this is showing you that right now, over 70% of the volume, we are still above 70% of the, in our bearishness, we're still 70%. We've got to, that volume's got to go more than 70% in the other direction to flip us bullish. We haven't even gone below 70%. This will go light red when we go below 70%. Right? There's our inputs. 70%. 40 to 70%. Below 40%. There's our transition period. We start transitioning. So we can see here 40%, 70%. We're using real-time data. So as each candle's forming, if it's changing, it'll show us. No worries, buddy. Again, obviously what I don't want people to think is that we just, you know, the algo, if the algo was enough on its own, you didn't need anything else to trade, then obviously we would have just launched the algo, which is why the development time for it was as long as it was, because I wanted to find all the right confluences, I feel, which is obviously now what I think everything that we've built, everything that we've got is enough confluences to help traders. Then obviously add in your own edge, your own way of trading, however you do it. You know, you're trading with statistical edge. We've just tapped that high. On gold. Gold will be an inch an hour now. We're still holding our bearishness on the algo, even though we're pushing up. It's still saying that we expect to close below this level. I'd imagine we start going into a corrective phase. If you think about it, we've pushed strong down here. We've failed to come take the low. We're in a bearish trend, sequence 7. Potentially next hour might go into a sequence 1 of a corrective phase, which will obviously be very high probability of a bullish pullback. But we'll see. Right now, we're bullish. Sorry, we're bearish. Mixed signals. But we expect right now to close below that low, below that line. We've got 15 minutes left on gold. We'll see what happens. ES, we're starting to see now we're seeing that weakness. We'd come right over. Leveling out. CL has its bit of craziness. Hate that. We got 15 minutes for NQ. Still time to take that high. Again, guys, there are times where, like yesterday, we had everything aligning during the stream. We could just be confident in our trades and go through it. I'm happy to wait. Happy to wait for the right trades. Happy to take the high probability ones. It's about, mentally as well. Like, the mental game is obviously very difficult, and you beat yourself up when you're making the wrong decision, when you were wrong to go in. It doesn't half help trading with probability, because you're using statistics. You have your own bias, and then you're waiting for statistics to confirm that with you as well. So you're trading with the market, with the probability of it happening. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't matter, because you know that if you make that same decision again, the majority of the time you're going to be okay. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you for joining. Hope you have a good day. How long have we got until the US election? Is it a couple of weeks until that's done? Absolutely. We could have a day where we take 4 trades in an afternoon. If every single time those statistics added up, we'd be in. We want to take those trades. So it's not about taking not a lot of trades. It's just about waiting and taking it. 5th of November. All right, okay. So an interesting period then coming up too. I've never traded through an election on NQ. Obviously, I know election years are meant to be more bullish than they are bearish, statistically. We have an election year, so it's be a bullish year. Looks like gold will carry on up. 30 seconds now come above. 15 seconds above. But I'm Mohammed. Still holding the prediction. Obviously, if we don't get that, and obviously we can see that 71% of the time we do, we obviously get a failed sequence, which happens 28% of the time. That's potentially a good indication that we might flip. Here we go, starting to see Remember that corrective phase. So I would like to see gold next hour. So we've taken lows. Our high for the previous hour is still here. Our low is here. We haven't taken anything from a structural point of view. I do not want late signals on. So again, nothing in there for me on longs on gold. Here goes NQ. Yep. Remember, obviously, we weren't on, you know, our trend AI was very bearish. We didn't want to falter. See, we take this low. There's our open. See if I can move this line out of the way. We get a cross here as well. We've hit our high probability coming back up to the 9 AM open. 73% probability we do that. Much higher probability we do it in the first couple of hours. There goes our low. So obviously we want to be taking them roughly till about here. We get that tap. There's still plenty of time to go on up and take it. We didn't have everything aligned for that, so we didn't take that trade. $30 coming close to that zero line. 15 must have already gone under. 15 has just gone under. We've got 7 minutes left of this hour. Be interesting to see whether this holds. As you can see, this is our first candle for the hour. That's our low. Yeah, I mean, gold's it's a bit corrective. Obviously, our structure is bearish. My bias is still bearish on gold. We're under. We have a very, very strong bearish trend. We haven't even weakened on that yet. We're under the zero line. Even though our higher time frame is bullish, I do want to flip back bullish. But until I see a transition, here's a transition, I remain expecting the price to continue back in its original direction. As we have with NQ. And certainly, sir. So if we expect our candle, so let's get rid of this. Let's clean up the chart. Okay. So this is our 20-minute mark here, right? This is our 20-minute mark here, this grey line, okay? So within 20 minutes, most of our data is laid, right? So let's just show you the data. So here's 20 minutes, segment one, and segment 2, okay? So if we're bullish, you can see that over 70% of the data lies in the first 20 minutes. And if we're bearish, the same thing, 70% of the data lies, right? Okay. So, back to the chart. So this candle here is the 19-minute candle. That closes at 20 past. That is our last candle of the 20 minutes. And that is our high, right? So when we take that high, that means that it's in segment 3. So the high is in segment 3. Now we know most of our data lies in segment 2. In segment 1 and 2. So what's more likely is that this is our low. And obviously when we add that data up, it gives us that, 73% probability. If we're bullish, this is our low, right? If we're bearish, it's very low probability that this is our high, right? Because it's starting to drop. The statistics are starting to drop. And obviously if we're going to be bearish, we need to close below that level. There's our open for the hour, right? So we need to close below there. So you can see we're already coming back up to have a bearish hour. So right now, it's a bullish hour. We will see. Bit messy. But again, because we don't have everything aligning, I'm not looking to trade. We want that cleanness, right? Super clean. Taking lows, everything aligned. See you later. What we have here is just a little bit messy. You know, conflicting bias. So we wait. What would be nice now when we go into the new hour is very quickly we take this low. So our market structure then realigns itself with bearish, which would be good. We've still got 3 minutes left of the hour. How's the S doing? We've obviously failed to get a completion of a weakening. We're still strong on the trend. No worries, Chad. You ask any questions you want, mate. Ask them as many times as you want. And mither the life out of me until you're happy. But we keep it really simple. Try and just keep it very basic. Like we have all our data here for when we're looking for a high and low of the hour. And when we're looking for where the high and low is as well. We know our data is stacked in this segment. So if you were to think about it, this is our buy zone, right? This is where we're getting our high probability areas to get in. If we want to buy the low or buy the high. So we're going to buy high, sell low. We're going to look to take that opportunity around here. And we're going to look to then take our opportunity to sell low where our data exists, right? Around here. Or within enough risk to reward that makes you happy. Or obviously if you're in challenges and you've on trailing drawdown, we want to be trailing those tight once you hit your certain level. We can obviously then, what will be coming for you guys is the ability to increase this to different hours. So right now you've got an hour. But you'll be able to do every hour interval. So if you wanted to look at the next 3 hours, 4 hours, and see that same thing, Again, you can get that, right? You'll be able to get that data. Okay, our hour is up. We close bullish. What did we say? We wanted our low to go, so our structure, right? So here's our low of the hour. Here. Ideally, we want to see that go, right? If we're going to continue, we want to look for some bearish sells. Till then, market structure is not aligned. We have then gone red here, but we want to see that go. Here's our high. So we've been breaking highs now, so our structure, from a candle structure point of view, is bullish. So if you want to do step one of the process, is you mark up an hour, you mark up the high and low of the hour. Okay? Step one. Mark up the high and low of the hour. Are we taking highs or are we taking lows? Now remember, our market structure is based off of candle market structure, not traditional market structure. So what we are looking for is in an hourly candle, are we breaking highs or breaking lows, right? Rather than, I think this is the high, I think this is the low. Makes it really clean for everyone to understand. Are we breaking the previous hour's high and the previous hour's low? Now, sometimes we can get those lovely candles where we break the low and come straight back up and break the high. They can be really great, sort of a drive down, grab a liquidity, pump, that we can get that continuation, which we did up here. We drove up, took the high, drove back down in the same hour and took the low, flipped our market structure bearish, and then we got that nice move. So we didn't manage to close bearish, right? So our prediction was we were going to close bearish. We did not close bearish. So that means the algo had a negative result. You can see the algo percentage changing there. So as we're above, it's not playing out. And as we're below, it is playing out. So you can see obviously it's higher when we're below the open and lower. That's because obviously it's collecting the data and showing every time this happened, what happened. And giving you that probability, that percentage based off of when we've seen this before. So obviously if that's failing, what's that telling you? That potentially we're coming to an end of this bearish trend. We are still bias bearish, but we'll see. We had a slow week on where can I find the dynamic TP and stop loss indicator. That's on the Max Algo. So once you go through WAP, you add your username at the trading view section on the app, and it will automatically add all of them to you, and it will be done. Yeah, under invite only. I'm going to do a masterclass in this because it is really, really powerful. That'll be in the videos. You can really help you kind of read. You can see the 15-second has come under the 0 line, right? So if we're going to go bullish, we want to come back above. If we're going to go bearish, we stay below. Give us that good indication. We flip bullish here, carried on bullish. We cross back over. Right now, unless that 15-second get above, we expect it there. The 30-second, it's only slightly teetering under. It's not with conviction. But we do come under, and we'll see. 1 minute has remained under. Let's see. We are 4 minutes in. So again, we're going to look at our hourly prediction. So if you want to see how we get our hourly prediction for our high and low, then hang tight. We'll be getting it shortly. It's being very slow. No worries, buddy. It will be a mess when you load it up. Go into the course. There's a 4-minute video on the settings and how to lay it out like this. Just follow it through. It's not a mechanical system, so obviously my win rate is different to everybody else's win rate. You'll get that cross again below the 0 line. Remember, market structure, we failed to take the low. We obviously haven't taken any high. We're in between. We'd like to confirm that bearishness by taking this low on gold. We still have a very strong trend bearish. Still have a very strong trend bearish on NQ as well. And ES, we do see again that weakening of the trend. On ES, no transition yet. CL, we've got a nice strong bullish trend. Alright. You can see here, when we took that high, we looked at it, remember, we had over a 60% probability this was our low. Obviously, we had the news come in, but we were still expecting this low to hold, as it does, and as it did. Everything aligned. Market structure. We hadn't taken the... Oh, we had just taken the low, so we took the high here. We've taken the high already. Market structure's aligned. Got a nice push up. Maybe CL is going to be the trade today. We shall see. Okay, we've got 6 minutes. So obviously, ideally, we want to see highs go in to confirm our low. Let's have a quick look. Let me just double check. Oh, yes. Okay. Let's take that low. Gold's taking the low. Had that nice confirmation. I think it's going to run. Not sure we're going to catch anything on gold. We are only 7 minutes. We take the high. Already a little early indication that we might be going bullish. We want to see more of that data align. Can you see how we align the confluences? Very strong. Above the 0 line. Structure bullish. EMAs. Bullish. Hourly data. Confirmation. Strong bullish trend. So actually we transition into a payday. No, we don't. We have a continuation of a payday. We have a 74% probability of closing bullish. We're higher time frames bullish. We're strong bullish. I think I'm going to be trading CL. Being a bit bobbly here. I don't want to give away too much profit. I'm already up today. We do lose. Right, we've got 1 more minute. Where do you check that the hourly is bullish? We check the hourly is bullish on our algo. Strong bullish. High time frame bullish. Sequence 2, the start. Pew pew. We check it in our hourly stats. If we are bullish, in segment 1, we have a 61% when we take the high, that there's going to be the low. So we use that to confirm. Your signals, the buy signals and sell signals. Let's take the late ones off. Okay. These signals help confirm that as well. give you your probability. Just taking those highs. We can get it earlier on with our own little confirmations, but they're just confirming it as well, giving an indication that we're showing bullishness. We have our first 10 minutes on CL. So if we take that high now, we are already statistically favouring bullish hour. If we take that low, then we are statistically bearish on NQ for the hour. This isn't a strategy. I do have premium, yes. There we go, we take that low. So right now we are sitting obviously expecting that is our high. So 56% right now that this is our high for the hour. We want to see that logo from the previous hour. That does as well. Things are starting to align. CL's going. – 11 minutes. What have we got? Structure, we broke the previous hour low. So market structure's right. We are below. We are bearish. Slightly late though. I don't like the 9. I prefer CL. Okay. Never trade on. So you're on CL. You're on the micros. Am I on the wrong one? Why is this different? CL. Thank you. Fuck off. Okay. Hang on. This music's too exciting. Can I help him be calm and relaxed music? I can't find it. I can. Okay. Yes. Right, we are 13 minutes in. Where are you going, CL? Wait for me. Wait for me. Bet your NQ's probably gone as well. That's sitting tight. What do you think I know? It's crazy my TP is. No? Yeah. So where would you set the 1 hour settings if you want to trade using the hourly on the indicator? What time frame? Like I'm trading the hourly candles. I'm trading the hourly time frame. It's 1 hour. My statistics are a 1 hour candle. My trend AI is 1 hour. Is this what you mean? Or do you mean if you want to trade on the 1 hour, each candle being 1 hour? Just give us a little clarification on that, please, Paul. Haven't yet taken that high. Yeah. So your settings are going to be, obviously you want to have a separate chart. So we have 2 windows. We set this chart time frame to an hour. We set this chart time to minutes. Won't be a second. $17 minutes. I'm going to set my limit order. So right now, the reason why I've set my limit order on this 1-to-1 is because we obviously have taken this high, right? We took this high at 11.13, which means that obviously from a statistical point of view, we're expecting a low. So we're 62% probability of a low. Now, as we're nearly at the end of segment 2, I'm just kind of, right now, that's sticking in, adding that up as well. Obviously, we're then up into the 70-75%. So from a 1-to-1 point of view, obviously, if I can catch this, how do I know this high is going to go? Well, if we're bullish, where are the highs? Well, right now, we're still in segment 2, so we've only normally see about 13% of the highs of a bullish hour. So therefore, I've got all the data to come. So it's a good one to catch, especially in the last 2 segments. So probability-wise, this is sitting in my favour right now to take this trade. And obviously our algo is saying that we have a higher time frame strong. We have a 74% probability of closing bullish. So if this is saying we're going to close bullish, our hourly stats are more likely to close bullish. Then we've got that in line as well. We're above the 0 line and we're blue. We're bullish, right? Broke our market structure. We're bullish. Our EMAs are bullish. I got nothing else. I've got everything telling me, let's go. It obviously can leave without me. Bye-bye, NQ. Bye-bye, TL. Have a look at NQ. Beep, beep, boo. Oh, shame. So NQ, obviously we are very much confirming this is our high for the hour. We've broke our structure. need to go on MNQ. Here we go. So we're at our 20 minutes. We broke our low. We... Rub it, rub it. Well done, buddy. Three for three. So segment 2 is now over. Gold. Obviously right now we are at slight bearish advantage. On gold. Yeah. Obviously I was just hoping we might push down a little bit more and tag me in here. Just wanted to try and keep my risk a little bit lower, right? We would still have that 1-to-1 here. And statistically, we would still be, you know, okay with that as well. ES is held strong. Still above on ES, obviously. So not everything aligning for ES. Like I said, NQ right now, this big push down. You know, if we are going to be bearish, I don't want to see this high go. Statistically, obviously, we're in a much more favour this low is going to go. So we'll keep an eye on it. Might get a cheap trade. Obviously right now our risk to reward would be much more positive than a 1-to-1. There's the buy signal on CL. If I wanted to take the trade now, yeah, but I'd need to adjust my risk accordingly. I would want to see CL. Obviously, if I go and take that now, then obviously I'm up here and risking 500 on the trade. So I'd have to go down to the MCL contract and reduce the number of entries. I don't want to put that much risk on a trade. We'll see whether we can get a little bit of a pullback. You know, we're getting close to half past. Don't want to see it pushing much higher. We do have a potential cheap trade on NQ. It's really not a lot. %50 would be up here now. 350. When we get strong trends, a lot of time we won't get a 50% retracement. Is it advisable to enter when the dynamic changes colour to deep blue or deep red? This one here. Yeah, they can be some great signals. I do enter off them sometimes as well. Especially when, obviously, everything else is aligning. It can be a good signal to get in. So, yes, they can be used as entry signals. Yeah. There's some good ones on MNQ. So, we take the high on NQ. We're now expecting another bullish hour. Gold's looking like it's starting to go up as well. We might have that flip now. ES didn't want to come down. ES confirms long. ES was staying above. We haven't yet transitioned yet, so I can't look for any longs. But it is looking stronger. The game's still not weakened yet on NQ. CL is still my favourite. When we do get these changes and it's coming in line, obviously this is where the payday comes in, that they often will just go. I could have taken the trade here. Mm-mm-mm. 28 minutes. I think we'll give it another 7 minutes. Right now, probability is going against, starting to creep away from us. If we come all the way down, we're going to continue on and take that high. Euro transitioned nicely, came back above, and we've had some good signals on Euro. Yes, changes bullish, still not yet transitioned. Remember, our weekly on NQ is bullish. Yeah. Remember, we did this yesterday. Well, obviously, you might not have been on. Strong bullish, high time frame bullish. Sequence 4, 85%. Obviously, we'd want to see NQ transition, as I said, come back above the 0 line. And everything else align. Our 3 hour low's coming to an end soon. So we expected this to be our low for the 3 hour after we took the high here. Let's see what we can do. Look at this on the 15 seconds, super strong. Ooh, we are 29 minutes. That high was 29 minutes, means it was in segment 3. Which means if we're bullish, we still have a lot of data on our side. Wait, CL, wait. 22%, 18%. So there's 40, 50, 60, 67% probability that we're still going to go higher. Because these are showing the 1 minute candle, right? So obviously it's showing that to get a 1 minute, we have that many 15-second candles to make up that 1 minute. I was thinking about pulling the trigger there. Yes, it's starting to transition. We keep getting that weakening trend. We are above. We can go blue on ES. We would be with the higher time frame when the algo changes as well. So ES in the next hour or so might give us decent trade. Obviously the buy signal confirms the highest probability now is this. That's why these signals wait until this point is over, because it is the highest probability when we get it. Obviously, if we can take this high, what do we say about the flips? Take the low, take the high. Be a good sign potentially that NQ is going to go nice and bullish again. Higher time frames bullish. We can then, we're in a corrective phase of our bearish. We go from corrective either to bullish or back to bearish. So when we see the transition and when we see we come back above, it's giving us indications that we're more likely to potentially go from corrective into bullish, into a sequence 1 in the higher time frame with a transition. See you later. But until that happens, we remain bearish. Okay, we've taken this low now. 33 minutes. So our high, if it was 2 segments, we have a 27% probability. 37, 47%. Seconds has gone red as well. One minute. 50%. 35 minutes. Oh. Time is ticking away. We could take a cheap trade. Right. Risk 100. Put it to here. Goals confirmed, are they? Obviously we take the low. And we take the high. Let's get rid of these lines. What do we have? We like those flips, right? We like those flips. Take the lows, take the highs. Time is running out. Not sure I want to take this trade. 37 minutes. We've got 20 minutes. Which means that, you know, we're still got a good 49%. We're going to come take that in the hour. Obviously, we're bullish overall. I am going to have to go as well. I've got to take my daughter. That trade. Wanted that CL trade. Gold. We start weakening. We come above the 0 line. Put my alert on. That's what that was. Alert on the 0 line. Wanted to see gold. Correct. Flip back bullish again. Transition. See if we can get some carrying on. We got 2 minutes. If we're not tagged in 2 minutes, I am closing the trade. Still really pushing it. Starting to bend round. 15 seconds coming down. We are a few ticks. Not quite on 50%. Even numbers. Yeah, that's better. Last minute. Might have just missed the tag. I was thinking about putting it inside of here. See this gap? Thinking about just sticking it in there. And that's that. We're into the last segment. I'm not taking, even though we look very likely we're going to come up and take that high. Thank you. Yes. Let's go. Gold. Right, guys. I think that's going to call it a day for me. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'd appreciate any likes or shares you want to give. That's always going to help. Obviously, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. You'll get a notification when I go live. And we'll see what comes tomorrow. Obviously, we can see if we can grab a trade on Twitter. Obviously, I did post the trade pre-analysis, predicting what we had, and then obviously tagging in the trade we had this morning. So if I'm not live, you can make sure you follow me on Twitter at ZooFX, Ing, and obviously I'll post updates as well on there. Otherwise, I'll see you live tomorrow. All right, guys, take care.